Hi everybody on the Art Club! Welcome back, Michelle here. I am going to be teaching you today a little bit about how to draw the human form. And I heard someone say a little bit recently, one of the Art Club members said that they're not quite happy with the way that their human form is turning out when they try to draw people. And I can totally understand this because I am still trying to learn how exactly to draw the human form. It really is something that takes a lot of observation and it takes a lot of practice. Today I'm going to give you just a beginner lesson, just a very simple lesson on how to draw the human body, and hopefully it will help you on your journey towards drawing people. Okay, so this is not a pro tutorial, but this should help you to start learning how to build a human being in a drawing, okay? And if you do this structure method first, then you should be able to draw the person in all different positions, running, jumping, anything. Okay? So what you want to start with, as usual, is a pencil. First off, don't start off with a marker with this, what I'm about to show you, because this is not the drawing. This is just kind of like the skeleton underneath the drawing. So we're going to kind of draw a skeleton right now. Is that okay? All right. So we're going to start off, I'm just going to move this bracelet because it's kind of hard to draw that way. Okay, we're going to start off with the head. So you can just kind of draw a really light, press very lightly with the pencil till you get a pretty good head shape. Hope you can see. Then from the head, you're just going to do one line straight down. A lot of people can draw stick figures, and this is kind of like a stick figure, so you should be able to do it. So you do a line straight down, and the length of this line is about the size of, well, just about 2 of these heads that you drew. So if you can imagine, it doesn't really matter what the length is. Just try to make it about 2 times the length of the head, approximately. Okay, so then at the bottom, right at the bottom here, you do a straight line across there, and this is going to be the hips. Okay, and at the ends of each of those, at each end of this line, sorry, is going to be a little circle. Okay, so then once you do that, imagine how long you want the neck to be. I'm guessing about that long, 1/3 or 1/4 of the head. Then you draw a line across there, and that's going to be the shoulders. So you do the same thing there, 2 dots on either end of the line. And then from that, we could do the thigh bones, the femur. So you just do a line straight down from that dot and a line straight down from that dot, about the length of the head. Okay, so not super long. Then we're going to do another dot, that's the knee. And then on the outside of each of these circles, you're going to do the shin bone coming down. I guess I'm slightly going inward. See? And then at the bottom, you do an oval. That's the ankle. And then after that, it's kind of like a triangle with a rounded bottom. And we can't see the top of the triangle. It's sort of inside. All right, so then from the shoulders, we need arms, right? So we come out till about sort of somewhere in here around the belly area. You just don't want to make this line longer than the hip bone. That won't work. So it comes down halfway, maybe a bit longer. And then you do the elbow dots. And then from there, you do the last part of the arm. I can't remember the names of all these bones. I learned them in school. Like that. Okay, and so then you want to do just a circle for the hand. And that is about it. So now you have the basic structure for underneath of your drawing, okay? And I'm going to draw around this now. But before I do, there's one other small thing that's going to help us, and that is the rib cage and the hip area. So from this circle, you just do a U. Just a U shape. That's kind of the rib cage area. And then we do the same from down here. But you can make it a little bit shorter probably. It doesn't really matter. You know, people are shaped all different shapes. So even if you don't get these shapes exactly like mine or whatever, it really doesn't matter because people are all different shapes and sizes anyway. I'm going to use this bluish purple pencil so that you can see what I'm going to do now. Normally, you'll just do this part in pencil, but I'm using blue just so you can see, okay? So what we have to do now is put some flesh on the bones that we've drawn. So we'll draw around the head. I like to leave the top so that I can put hair on it after. And then the neck. Now mine is probably going to be a girl, but if you want to make yours a boy or a man, you can just make these shoulders a little bit wider. And that's what Len did. You can see Len did this one yesterday, and he made the shoulders really wide, so that kind of made it look like a muscle man. See? But for this girl, now I'm going to draw her shoulders just like I normally would, except now I have a structure underneath to trace. See? I'm going to draw around, down there, around the elbow, and then it kind of gets skinnier at the wrist, right? Do the same on the other side. Another thing you can think about is if the hips are wider, it will look more girly. So if you want to make a woman drawing, you can make the hips wider. Okay, now the hands, draw around that, and draw some fingers, 3, 4 fingers, and then you go around that ball a little bit, and you can do a thumb, see? Not too bad. Now I'll just make a little bit of hair just so she doesn't look unfinished. All right, so now I'm going to use the Sharpie to go around on top of all the blue, because that's the part of the drawing we want to keep. All right, so you see how that works? And now we can put, you know, some shorts on her. Maybe a little t-shirt. And we drew a person that looks pretty well proportioned. I'll just put a few little features on her. Now I will erase all the skeleton. Alright, so that is our first attempt at drawing the human form using the structure underneath. And I wanted to let you know that people, and when you draw anything, it's just made up of shapes. Okay, so I have this guy here. Draw the shapes underneath of a person first, then they are probably gonna look pretty good. And so here we have sort of an oval shape for the head. They did a sphere for the neck. This kind of a structure for the chest area. I think this one's a female. And the shoulders are spheres. There's a ball in here. Then we have the hip area, a cylinder, cylinder, cylinder. And actually the feet are missing on this one because Hunter took it apart, which is fine. But you get the idea of what I'm saying. So I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna change the proportions a little bit this time. So we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna do sort of a big head. I'm gonna do the same straight line down. Same line for the hips. There we go. So now what will this person look like? So that looks a little bit different, hey? It looks a little bit more cartoony. Just try to make the eyes match a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to erase. Now I am rushing a little bit, and you can really see that with the way that the feet are looking. But this is just a basic idea, and of course you could do shoes, you can do different kinds of clothes, but the important thing is that you decide all of that while you're drawing the outline of the body. So I'm going to do a few more. Let's just look at this for one moment, imagining the body made of shapes, okay? So that would be a sphere. Then we have a cylinder for the neck. Then we have sort of a cone-shaped cylinder for the chest area. Then we have a little middle for the tummy. Then we have another short cylinder for the hips. Spheres for shoulders. Cylinders for the upper arms. Elbows are spheres. And then these kind of shaped and then the hands, the fingers. Cylinders for thighs. Knees. And then cylinders for feet. And there we go. The whole body is made of shapes. Now we can play with these shapes to make different shaped people. If you get used to drawing this underneath structure, then you can draw anyone. Let's see what I can make out of these structures. Now do you see how possible it is to make all different types of people using that structure underneath? So easy! Now I'm gonna try one last thing, and that is I'm gonna put somebody in a different type of position rather than just standing there. I'm gonna try to make them doing an action, okay? So let's see. Put the head here, I'll make the line. Going this way. A little bit shorter. The hips. So let's see what this person looks like when I cover them over. All right, let's erase. So that is pretty easy, I think, and it has a pretty good result. Now, obviously there's some details that you need to remember and some details you need to learn how to draw, like hands and feet and clothing and hair and facial features, but just to learn how to draw the structure of a person, I think it's pretty easy to do that. So, just to recap, you start with a pencil. Draw the head, draw the torso line, the hip line, and then trace it over. And then erase the structure underneath. And that's it. So that was it for drawing the human form. Thank you guys for tuning in. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you would. I'll see you guys next time.